Everybody, Ralph Havens here, and really early over here. I tend to wake up a little early. For some reason, that's my time to do cool stuff when I'm really feeling good about things and have a lot of energy. So it's about 6 o'clock in the morning here on the West Coast, up here near Mount Baker. But this will be on YouTube a little bit later too. So I'm just about to go live on Facebook. It should be already recording for YouTube. And I had some stuff that I thought about from way back in my early days of having a physical therapy practice and integrative manual therapy practice in San Diego. And so I thought I would talk about that. I'm sure a lot of you have read Eckhart Tolle's books and CDs and DVDs, and there's probably a lot of you guys that are into his work, and I am too. I love his stuff. And I was first introduced to it way back in San Diego. One of my good friends, and she was a therapist that worked for me for many years, and we took lots of classes together, Danielle. And if you're in San Diego, Danielle Emhoff, great therapist. You have any kind of concerns or issues or need something. So you can find her, I think, at Moonstone Empowerment, or basically look for Danielle Emhoff. But years ago, she gave me a book, The Power of Now. And I think it might have been How to Do the Power of Now, or some kind of like the shortened version of how to do it. And I was really busy. In San Diego, I was so busy. If you think I'm busy now and I do a lot of work now, I was really busy back in San Diego. I mean, I'd wake up at 7 o'clock. No, I'd wake up at before that, and then go for a run in Balboa Park, because I was also running 70 to 100 miles a week. And I loved running and loved competing. But as a lot of you might know, it was also a way that I controlled my anxiety. I had lots of anxiety and lots of sweating issues. And if I ran a lot, like twice a day, I could keep it somewhat under control. So I was really busy running, and I was really busy building my physical therapy, integrative manual therapy practice, and just hell-bent on something. My sister used to ask me, like, why do you work so hard? And I'm like, hell, I don't know. But I did. I was taking classes every month, traveling around the country and Canada. And every month I was somewhere, sometimes twice a month, spending thousands of dollars for airfare and hotel and rental car. And then the classes cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for a few days. And I remember once I flew to Toronto for Cardiac 2, a really cool class on how to fix up all the blood vessels in the body. And then straight from Toronto to San Francisco for mechanical model pressure scan, which is a way to help the body fix up all sorts of other stuff. And then straight back home to San Diego, and then the next morning right back to work. And I was just going like that. And my therapist, Danielle, was also taking lots of classes. Had quite a few therapists starting up with me as I was going through this, because I had a really good consultant that I was also working with and paying a lot of money to. So I was like just hell-bent on something. And she gave me this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I think it might have been How to Do the Power of Now. It was like the shortened version. And I would read it at night, and I kind of enjoyed it. But I really started realizing it was pissing me off, because I realized I was never in the now. Never. I was never in the now. It was impossible for me to be in the now. I was working too hard to be in the now. I was thinking about the future. I was working towards the future. I had fears about the past. I had anxiety. I wasn't in the now. It seemed impossible to like use my mind to get in the now. And so I kind of put it aside, but it stayed on my books, stand for a while. And, but I somehow had some kind of desire, because when I was a little kid, I would always read the Bible, and I was always reading about Jesus and what he could do. And I knew that was true, that what he did was true, and all those healings were true. And I wanted it. But then there I was with my life, and I didn't treat my sister very well. And I was just, just an irritated, scared, anxiety-filled kid. And so I was searching for something, and as I went through, I started to think, well, I want to have this physical therapy practice in San Diego and integrated manual therapy practice. So that's why I got the consultants and paid them a lot of money, $150,000 over 5 years. And they helped me really build that business. I mean, it went like 6 times, they 6x'd it, went from, 6x'd it. And I got 5 therapists working for me. But what I think I was really struggling for was to fix me, of course, to fix me. I had this idea that I didn't want to be this 80, 90-year-old guy with an anxiety problem, and especially not with a sweating hand problem, unable to be comfortable in life. I thought, God, an 80-year-old guy shouldn't be like that. Somehow you should figure this thing out. So that's, I think, what I really wanted. And so I was going along, and I had figured so much stuff out, like with the integrative manual therapy, that medical intuitive work, I had solved the anxiety thing and the sweating thing. I was doing really well in that. My business was doing really, really well. But then, as a lot of you know, I hit a big wall. Basically, I got really sick and I couldn't run. For 2 years, I couldn't run. And so there I was, unable to run, and some other stuff started happening because different people worked in my business that just stuff started to fall apart. And what happened was it ended up getting us out of San Diego and moving us up here to the Pacific Northwest. But, as some of you know, then we got into a house that was not very good. It was toxic, and we ended up spending out our year outside and blowing through all this money that I had saved up, and our house that we had sold in San Diego, that money to try to get this house well. And it got well enough. It's like, it's good. We like it. It works. But what I got was really interesting, because through my work and trying to figure this stuff out for myself and for my clients and helping people get well, I could get people well from autoimmune conditions and from other chronic conditions. I mean, we've had some amazing success stories that are impossible. Some of the success stories, if you think about it, it's like, wow, I didn't know that someone could come off a heart transplant list with sessions until now. I didn't know that somebody could have a diagnosis like ulcerative colitis and then not have that. So, so I saw how people can heal if we can get to the root causes and clear stuff. And I saw it for myself, with my anxiety and that sort of thing. And, but with all the travel up here and all this hardship that we had after that, I started to realize that I had to fix more of my internal beliefs and my victim stuff. And what was interesting was one of the obstacles was, of course, I had to build my business again. And I didn't have very many clients. And now I was trying to do it at a distance over the internet with people from all over the world, and nobody knew me. And so I devised a plan. I thought, well, we have to get a coach. So I got a coach, Kathy Wilkie from New York City. And then she got to move to her favorite place, Southern California. I think that might've been from hanging out with me, who knows? But she helped me build my business. She 2x'd it, twice as good, twice as good money-wise, twice as good clients, impact. It was starting to work. And then I met this, interacted with this guy that had gone from food stamps to a business that was making millions of dollars a year. And I kept seeing his stuff, and I thought, oh, this is too simple. His stuff is simple. And but then I bought a little bit of his stuff and started doing it. And I'd already been doing a lot of internal mindset stuff and shifting stuff, and I had to figure out all these things, these different ancient ways to get rid of the victim thing and to really use your mind and your beliefs and your thoughts and your emotions to make life better for you. And then this guy was showing me this one technique. And so I started doing it, and Jen would tell me, what are you doing? Because it was even at another level. I mean, all of a sudden a doctor was calling us from Bellingham wanting to send us people, but we weren't advertising to doctors, and we don't even take insurance. And yet he found me, and people from all over the world were finding me more, and more people on my YouTube channel and the Beyond Limits with Ralph YouTube channel. And I was getting more people wanting to work with me on all sorts of levels. And what I found was a way to to go directly to what's going on. So all these obstacles, you know, the different obstacles for business and in the past, even for my health, all these obstacles were really a gigantic opportunity. More than a they were actually miracles. Because if I hadn't had them, I maybe wouldn't even have found this thing. And when I started using this thing, this one way of interacting with me, then stuff started to change really fast. And since then, I've seen things where it's kind of funny. Like I was working with a lady, I've been working with her, she's wonderful. And her legs, her diabetic neuropathy or whatever it is, it wasn't diabetic neuropathy, but this problem with the legs started to really clear. And she could walk again without feeling all unbalanced. But what was really interesting was one of her friends now is really, really, really happy that she was a friend that she was so concerned about, that took a lot of her time and a lot of her attention, and just really everybody was concerned about this other woman. And because my friend, my client shifted herself, her friend was different. And it's the same as like, I had one lady that worked with me, and we were helping her with clearing her autoimmune conditions. And I said, what's different? What are you noticing that's different? And she said, you know, it's been since I've been 5 years old that I haven't talked to my sister since I've been 5. And she was close to 30, some upper 30s or 40s. She said, she contacted me. We're going to be friends again. We're going to have a relationship again. That's just weird, right? So it's good. And I've seen this over and over again, that it's really unusual for people to interact with this and not have an unexpected miracle or 2 or 3 or 4 and all sorts of stuff of what somebody really wants. And that was my case. So I started to realize that this way of interacting with the obstacles and the challenges and the real hardship is truly the door into big time change of what you really want, what I really want. And so as I've been doing this, I've noticed that my work, my drive to get my work out to the world, and we do have a big plan, Jen and I, because there's a lot of stuff that's been told to people that's just absolutely not true. You know, if you start to look at the vaccines and the ideas around Roundup and the EMFs with Wi-Fi, you could start to think, good Lord, are they trying to kill you? And but there's something in there that's a real opportunity, a real wonderful thing to shift ourselves. And so then the world can change. Then your people that you interact with, the world can change. And this thing what's really cool is when people have big concerns and needs and wants and desires around money, around business, around thriving, around getting ahead finally in life, around getting over chronic conditions, these things that seem like such a big thorn in your side or problem that's stopping us, they're actually the miracle. I'm noticing more and more that it is actually the miracle. And there's a way to interact with it, to interact with you, to interact with yourself, that you can shift something really deep inside you of what it's really all about. And then the world starts to be different. And then all these things that you wanted and achieved, there was really something else that you got. And with me, it's, I was hanging around Sunday. I still get up early on Sunday and do work, but then the rest of Sunday is family day. We do have Tuesday family day, Friday family day, and then Saturday, Sunday family day. But I can talk about that another time, how I don't work as many days as some other people do. But when I work, I work. And but on Sunday, I was hanging around with my little boys, Ben and Baden, and we were looking at each other's thumbs. You know, my thumb is a certain size, and Ben's is another size down, and then Baden's is another size down. We even checked Jen's thumb, and it's kind of funny. I was like, oh my God, I just know this is the good times, right? This is the good times. During all this work and all this trying to do things and get the message out to people and help people and thrive on all levels and help people thrive, I was just looking at my 2 boys, and I'm like, I felt very much like this is the moment. This is the time. This is like, remember this. And I thought, oh my God, I am going to die someday. And it's weird. It's a weird thought, right? like it's easy to think, well, they're dying, and that one died, and this one died, and it's like I know I'm going to die, but I don't think about it. But it's like I got a real like, oh my God, I am going to die. It's just so weird. It's just so weird. It's weird, right? And but I felt so like, wow, I'm just really hanging out with my guys here, and this is what it's really all about. So I think what's going on, tell me what you guys think, but I think this like living in the now, this idea of like reading a book and going to a self-help thing and then trying to be in the now, and that's the now, and this is what I'm gonna do. I think it might be like life can teach us how to be in the now and to be grateful. And there's this thing that I found that's this ancient, you could sort of call it a meditation technique. It's an ancient technique that the guy that went from food stamps to making millions of dollars showed me that that is really powerful. And I want to make sure you guys get that. So if you go to ralphhavens.com, that's my name, ralphhavens.com /enlighten up, enlighten up, ENLIGHTENUP, ralphhavens.com /enlighten up. You can grab that that technique. It's so powerful, and I hope you guys get it. And I even made a video with people using it that I think you'll like a lot. So you can grab that, and then you can hear more of my story. I have a video there, and some more of what happened to us, and some of the stuff I learned. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you're finding this on Facebook Live, send me a little heart, a like, share it. If you're finding it on YouTube, share it, subscribe. And let's get this world out, healed out there, huh? And let's get out there and live. All right, everybody. Let me just see if anybody has commented on Facebook. I hope it's on Facebook. And I will talk to you all later. All right, everybody have a great day out there.